Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming. So first of all, we would like all of you all to give a small introduction. Again, you can tell where you start, when you started playing rugby and how you got into it, and now what you are doing. A little introduction, probably 2 minutes itera, and then it can continue and you can tell you the year that you started playing and the year you captain and all. So then we can go like that, and after again we'll probably go in the same order. And both of us will be asking what are the questions, and we can continue that way. Yeah, you can start. Imran Hassan.
Right, I am Imran Hassan. I would say one of the pioneer students of D.S.Senanayake. That is, when D.S.Senanayake started, I was one of the students. And rugby at that time, I wasn't rugby, we were all 5-year-old, 6, 7, 8. When we came to around 10, 11 years old, I think with my good friends here, we wanted to start some sort of a rugby. And we had no old boys, as you know, because we were the
old boys.
It's more senior boys, and we were just 6, 7 years in the grade. So we got together, and there was one parent who was interested, and that is a gentleman from the police called Ranmuthugala, and his son also was with us. So he said you can start rugby, but when you start rugby, it's under 13, we only played house matches. So we had got to get it cultivated, get the interest in the school. So under 13, under 14, under 15, we played all just school matches, house matches, to get interested. And only when we came to 76, that we actually wanted to go in, play schools. And we went in search of fixtures. Our master in charge, Susharatnam, was very eager and very willing to get that done. And we got a few fixtures. And that's where we started our rugby. So our very first match, in fact, in my memory, there's written the most memorable memory was the first match that DS played in a school.
What was the school you played with?
St. Joseph's, I think. They gave us. What they didn't give the first 15 team, they give the A team or under 17 team or something. They know that our standard. Mm-hmm. And they were right in that, and we just rattled on and continued, and that's where we went. And ended up by playing 76, 77, 79, 80 I played, 1980 also. 80 under Thurpe, who's not here. And when I played 80, I played for club also. So I played for school and the club together.
What's the club you played?
CH.
CH. What was the position you played?
At CH, I played wing.
Okay. Wing. School also?
School, actually, there was no position as such those days. I played wing forward. There are times there was no stand-off, I played stand-off. Then there's wing. You know, there was good old days. I'm talking of 50 years ago we are talking of. Yeah. At that time, rugby was just starting. So if there is no player in one position, I go into that position. When there is no player in this position, I go into this position. It was, everyone was the same, and some people stuck into it. And otherwise, we just move all over because we just started rugby there. So seriousness was less.
Yeah, since you were one of the inception, just to ask a question, what made you, why did you want to, like, actual reason? Probably, because some other school was playing or something, like, what was the actual reason that you all had to start in DS?
Rugby was a very favorite game around. Yeah. And we wanted to start rugby because cricket was there, going on very well, and hockey and football and all those things. But rugby was not started as yet. And as both my brothers played for Royal, they captained Royal also.
Right. Okay.
So I was interested in rugby. Then there was these two guys who were, especially Ramsey, who was very interested in rugby. And so we thought we must start. So we spoke to principal sir, and he gave us a master in charge and said, you got to go ahead now. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have all boys to help us or support us. It was all by ourselves. Yeah. So we spoke to one master in charge, was very...
if you can mention his name.
Mr. Susharatnam, W.J. Susharatnam.
Right.
He was the master in charge, I think, for about 15, 20 years.
Right.
Very interesting, very silent, nice gentleman who used to help us. And then we scout around, and then this Mr. Ranmuthugala, who is a police officer. Yeah. He and his son also was there, who's in school, who wanted to play. So he started this, and he gave us practice he afforded the police park free of charge for us to practice there. Of course, when you say practice, we don't, play this very serious practice the DS plays now. I am very proud to see them now. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
We used to come, there are no 15 players. Sometimes there are 15, there are 14, there are 10. We got to scout players and get them if there's a match. When Susaratna comes and says, right, okay, St. Joseph called us, they told to play this coming Tuesday or Wednesday. Then we somehow go to the classes, get some, we look at the athletic meet, who have run fastest, who have thrown the putt shot best. And we go and scout them and tell them, why don't you come? Please come and join us and play. And they come 1 or 2 days practice, 3 days practice, and then we play. We enjoyed rugby. There was no stress on us. The way they're stressed now, that's what I'm comparing. Nowadays, I can just imagine the amount of stress, amount of strain, amount of financial things which goes into this rugby. But at that time, we enjoyed our game. But we were not in a good league. But that's where we started the foundation, and we are proud and happy to see that it has developed today into one hell of a good team.
And expanding on what Imran said, how it actually started was a lot of us, I think, were interested in rugby. Imran, myself, and a few others. And then we were actually junior prefects as well at school at that time. So we spoke to Mr. Alas, who was very supportive as well, the founder principal of DS, and told him that we would like to have some rugby. And actually at that time, the Parents Teachers Association of D.S.Senanayake College was very powerful. So at one of the parent teachers meetings, Mr. Alas brought it up, and that's how Mr. Ranmuthugala got involved with rugby. And then, of course, being a police officer and being, I think if he was, I'm not sure, but am I right? If he was in charge of police rugby at that time. So he was able to get the help of the police team, like we had people like Chandrapalan, Ibrahim Hamid, Marso, and people like that in that league of people who came and helped us with DS Rugby. So
this Ranmuthgal had a child in the school.
Yes. They were Priya Ranmuthugala.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Mr. Ranmuthugala is dead and gone. May his soul rest in peace. But the son is supposed to be in Australia. I have been trying to track him down on my flights, but sadly not been able to. I think the number that I have has been changed. I will track him down pretty soon.
So Hilmi, you can give a little background how you got into it and.
Well, I got involved because my classmates were involved in it. I was not a rugby guy. I was more or less an athlete.
Right.
So eventually, I think I remember late 1975. That's how we started playing some mini rugby during interval.
Right.
That's the time I first held a rugby ball. I have never seen a rugby ball at that time. So I think because of my athletics and my speed, I got a chance to play rugby.
So you were a runner?
I was a runner, yes. I was actually a
public school's
athlete.
So we scouted him for rugby because that's what he wanted.
So that's how we went in. I think in 1976 we got a first fixture to play St. Joseph's College. But we didn't have 15 players. So we had to play 10 players again. And that also half a ground, will you believe it? And eventually we won the match, but they had a very good side. I think that was A team is, I think, half of their first 15 team also was there. We won the match, and from there it's a go to go. So that's how it happened, and I think we had a good support from Mr. Susyaratnam, who was master in charge, and then there was another master in charge, Mr. Ariyaratna, as well. But as these guys said, we did not get much support from the school. Right? It was pure dedication of the boys who wanted to play, and I think Ranmuthugala was the architect for that, and his son. So most of the time, we never had a 15 aside. Maybe we might have under 15 boys coming and playing with us, under 17. So till 1976, I think we had a complete 76, 77. We had a good under 17 side, not a first 15 side. So that's how it went, and we won very good matches, I must say that. we had a very good side, but only thing we didn't have a super proper intelligent coach who could give us some, coaching facilities. We didn't have a proper ground, so we had to go to Police Park sometimes. We had to go to Havelock Park sometimes. So there was no proper ground as such.
Okay.
So we had a chance to play with those guys who were actually playing with Havi's team or maybe Police team. So they were also very supportive. So that's the inspiration we got.
Right.
And then the under 15 guys like Aisan Terpe Chang, Riza Farooq, we had a good joker called Naushad Ismail. It was fun playing with him as well. So we had a lot of trips to Kandy and Kurunagala, Mallyadeva. It was not like a rugby match, it was more like a trip that we went in. Right?
Yeah.
So the nights were very fun during at that time. So I don't want to go detail into that.
No, you can.
Yeah.
You can give your introduction.
I think
also.
Well,
you'll be able to tell about that.
There's nothing you can't talk about.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Everything is very.
there are so many ladies here, so I shall not talk about it.
But I think the stories that you want to share, I think that era, whatever the funny, silly stories, makes it more natural.
Okay, I basically was one of the pioneers with Imran and Hilmi for DS Rugby. And the reason being that Hilmi and Imran were slightly elder to me. They captained the senior team and I captained the second string team. Basically, when they played under 15, I was under 13. When they played under 17, I was captaining the under 15 team. So by that, everybody got a chance of basically playing and captaining the teams. I leave that aside. Rugby-wise, DS, from the time we started in 74 to what we are today, we have come a very long way. And I got into rugby, simple reason being because my father, who played for Royal, in fact, in the 1940s with Mahesh, Rodrigo and people like that. And in fact, in the Bradby as well. I think he played about 2 or 3 years in the Bradby. He's the one who pushed me into rugby. And that's how I got into rugby. And after school, after I finished school, what happened was after in 79 I captained DS, and then I got into my profession as a pilot. Before I went, I started coaching the DS team. There was most of the captains, the captains in Nadvis and Mahesh Kumaras and even that age group were initially trained by me.
Right.
I trained them from under 9, under 10, and then under 13 as well. Right. And then, of course, I had to go to the US for my education. And when I came back in 82, I again, for a very short period, I coached them because there was a request. And that's what the original thing where DS Rugby was concerned. Then, of course, I joined Sri Lankan Airlines. I'm actually a senior captain now, instructor as well. It's not a Sri Lankan, but I was an examiner as well. Well, Sri Lankan, I have retired, but I'm still flying. And during 78, I played in the Dubai International Sevens for the airline. They had an airline competition there. So I played at the Dubai. That was one of the biggest achievements that I had. I captained Sri Lankan Airlines for that match. Okay. And, well, here I am, still hogging along.
You can share how you got it, because now if you really look at it, you're the last year.
I relate more to the other set you interviewed earlier. This is a big IAS, and my initiation for rugby was a tackle at CHNFC. First I saw stars because Ramji tackled me, and that was the first initiation for
I'll tell you the reason why I tackled him. He was a very good player, but he was awfully scared of tackles. Immediately somebody got close to him, he just threw the ball, So I said, okay, now you run with the ball. I waited, and actually I was coaching you at that time, right? And basically I went behind him and tackled him, okay? Such a tackle, and from that day he started playing very well.
So it's a kind of, when I started, my brother was playing. Another horse, he's not here. Senior. Hilmi was referred to as, used to run like a horse.
Yes.
I have to say this. In our sports meet, at the awards, we'll only hear one sata, after that another sata, after that another sata. Metta, and we were not in Metta house, and we were so angry that these satas used to take all the awards from Hilmi to Naushad to Zafar. So we had the privilege of the satas. My brother was also an athlete who used to run, and it is through him that I got into rugby.
Right.
Because he was under 15 or under 13 or something like that, he was training, but unfortunately when he was playing under 17, he tore his hamstring and had to give up rugby completely. So my initiation was at 9 years, and I walked through the rugby scene and captained in 1984. And if I am to say my involvement in rugby thereafter is that I am a lawyer by profession. My batchmate is Sahid Sangani, who was my playmate from grade 1 up to today. We are best of friends. And we used to, after law college lectures, come and train the under 15s. And thereafter, there was also a situation where Imran Farooq asked me to draft the constitution for the Rugby Development Foundation, which is the foundation that is managing the rugby development. The initial draft, which is still the draft, which has to be updated, was drafted by me.
I think there's a plan on doing a
yes, and of course, my son also vice captained DS.
In which year?
21, I think.
Now, these we are mostly going to ask questions based on these 10 years from you all, because I think that's the era that a lot of the stories and information needs to come for the years to go on. So if you can share anything that you think was very significant, or something that you all went through or had to build as a group.
Should we do it like this? Should we start from 76? And why don't you, Imran, why don't you set the scene for what was, when you said rugby in DS, when you were just starting, before you had a first 15 team, when you tried to get other boys involved. What was the response when people heard rugby? What was the profile of the sport in the school? What was that like?
School, it was not that known,
Yeah.
but within the schools and in the country, rugby was a well-known sport. So when you tell rugby, they say, are you starting rugby? It's good, or whatever it is, and they join. Now, the first person who scouted at that young age was Hilmi, because of his athletic skills. So when you talk of scouting, I must tell you one incident. There was a very good player, not a good player, sorry, a sportsman called Sri Paran. Sri Paran. He is a deputy prefect of the college. He was a very good sportsman. So once for sevens, we needed speedsters. So we went and spoke to him and told him, he was a very good cricketer. He was on Sri Lanka's school's cricket captain.
Oh, okay.
So he was, if he had continued playing, he would have played for Sri Lanka.
He played for Sri Lanka 2 test matches.
No. He was Sri Lanka school's captain, I know, and after that he went on to Navy.
Okay.
So he joined Navy, and that was it. So we went and told him, and he said, okay, if you want, I'll come, but how do I play? I said, come for practices. So he came for practices, and we taught him, we will give you the ball. You have to run. run to the goal, and that's all, and score. He said, oh, that's fine. He had the speed, and that's what we need, just like him. So everything was set, and on the day of the match, the best part is, somehow or other we passed the ball to him, and he said, run, and he ran over the goal, and he smiled happily that he had run over the goal line. Until he knew that St. Joseph Wesley, it was Wesley.
No, Wesley.
Wesley.
The thing was, what Imran said was right. We said run. He ran, went over the goal line. He's looking at us and saying, what do I do now? So we said, put the ball down. He threw the ball.
And then when I scolded him, I told him, idiot, what did you do? He said, you taught me to run, but you didn't teach me to score. So that was the level of coaching and studying our rugby was. But we enjoyed it. After that, we then and there we'll teach him how to score. That's a different story.
This is Sriparam, right? K. Sriparam.
But who basically taught you all the rules or the coach now? Like you said, if you all didn't have, was it that Mr. Ranmutugala, was it his police people or?
He had an army coach, Mr. Piris.
That's subsequent. After
He's the man who really coached us.
Right. So that's how you all got to know that.
Yes.
If you all can also elaborate a little bit about probably the rules back then. Like when you all played, like let's say the timing to certain things like.
Same with slight changes. The new rules which are coming now is about there, but other than that, it was
Almost similar.
Very similar.
There have been some major changes also.
But even then, you had both 7s and 15s competitions.
Yes, and we had a mini rugby tournament, which was a 9s tournament, which was held only for about 2 years.
Okay.
I remember having played for it.
Only for schools?
No, actually, it was basically an experimental thing. It was held. I remember it was held at CRNFC. It was called the 10s mini rugby tournament. That was held only for 2 years, but then they stopped. The schools were not involved in that. Myself, because I didn't play club rugby at all because of my profession, because they refused to insure me play for two things that I really loved to do. One was rugby and motor racing, which I did. So I preferred to do my flying more than I was forced to basically select flying over those two. At that, for the under 10 matches, they basically it was an exhibition thing which they had at SIA, but they scrapped it. I think something happened and they scrapped it.
No, so I want to hear a little bit more about the. So when you started, obviously other schools had much better facilities and had a.
They had a long history of
Long
rugby.
history,
We
yeah.
didn't have.
Yeah.
We were first year in school.
Understood.
First year in rugby in Sri Lanka.
So what was
DS.
facing those schools like in your era? What was it like to come up against?
Man to man, it was not a match we could have done, but only thing we didn't have the good knowledge of rugby. That's the whole issue. I mean, if you think, if I name my line, was fantastic. Good players. Say from Playa to Ramsey to Imran to then Tuan then I had Sabri Gauss, myself and Suranjit. Fantastic line, but we didn't have a knowledge.
Okay.
That's why we lost some of the matches. Some matches, I mean, I don't want to boast because of my speed. We were able to get some tries. I was just going through some paper cuttings, but was sent by some of my friends.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what happened. Other than that,
I suppose the tactics-wise, you all didn't
tactic-wise,
have.
I think we had some stupid name to do something, but I can't remember those names.
The finish
I
wasn't
think it
there.
was some Pastolo or something like that. They were called.
The finish wasn't there. What happened is the capability of the individuals were there, but the finish wasn't there. So our main thing was clear the ball and give it to Hilmi to run.
So we are talented.
So basically he would
say
run.
Ramsey, Imran, and another guy called Turpe Chang, fantastic tacklers. If somebody gets a tackle from them, they'll never get up. So that's how we had.
I have broken three people's hands.
No, none of them were FT. I think we had only two FT guys. I think it was Iftikhar Farooq and Ilyas, and I think Farzad was there. Then I must name, Shahid's one of the older brother who passed away. He also was playing with us during under 15 and under.
He was a very good player, Shabir.
Shabir Sangani. He was a good hooker, I must tell you. He was a very good hooker. So we had an opportunity, at least for a little while, he played first 15 as well. So honestly, we didn't have 15 or maybe 20 people to play a good match.
And the technical training came very much, I think 1982.
Later on.
82 also only the technical with Quintin coming in.
Quintin came here during
Naushad's time. With
era,
Quintin coming in, then with that I think Kamal Jayawardena came. That was the kind of, at the time that the more formal rugger, technical rugger came into DS. But
And we had the first 2 years of old boys, so they were also giving them a little bit of help to do whatever that they have to do. So we never had old parents or old boys or anything like that. I mean, to get a spectator to watch our match, probably you have to call somebody to come and watch our match. We never had anybody like that.
My
it
mother-
was our junior boys who used to come and who wants to play. Those are the guys.
my mother or father still not see, until they died, they never saw a match of mine.
Same.
Actually, my father came because he was a rugger, right? Actually, Malli, coming back to what we were talking, we had to go to classrooms one by one, trying to get people to come for rugby. Because I was, like as I said, we were prefects, actually I was the deputy head prefect as well. We had to basically go from classroom to classroom, trying to entice children to come, right? And at that time, actually, the Mallis now who are playing rugby, or just before us, just before now, are very fortunate, because those days at half time, what do we, after practices, what do? We go and hold a hand to the tap and start drinking water, and you see rust from the taps coming out, you're drinking that, you're swallowing that as well. And then at half time, what do we get? We get either a lime cut into 4 and 2 boxes of glucose. That's all we got, right? So lime cut into 4 into 15 players, you get about 2 pieces of the lime, and then of course a handful of glucose. So that was the level that we started with. And even the water is, I remember Wilson, if you all know about CRNFC rugby, the old man Wilson, he used to come running, because the thing is, like he was an ardent supporter of DS Rugby. So he used to come running with the water bottles, and that water, when you want to drink cold water, this bloody water is so hot, So you're wondering, like, it doesn't quench your thirst as such. You're just drinking that because you really were feeling dehydrated, So that was the rugby that we were used to. Then subsequently they cut the orange into 8, according to Riza, and then
Life became orange.
Life became orange, and then the glucose stayed on
Yeah,
to leave it still,
And maybe cream soda added on.
and then cream soda was added on.
Cream soda was on. So
No
that-
soups. No soups.
No,
in
no,
it.
no.
We were not fortunate.
We were not
no.
fortunate.
We were not fortunate.
That era did
But I
also-
have to say one thing.
Yeah.
There was this, if you all remember, Hotel de Majestic, which was at Bambalapiti,
Yeah.
right? His son was there at school, so Firaz. And we forced the guy into rugby.
Because of food.
Simple reason being, from Police Park, we used to walk there and eat free and then go back home.
They spoke about having to go and look for players. That was the same during our period. Now today they talk about player poaching.
Yeah.
Going and getting players from other schools. We had to do player poaching from class. We used to have to walk into class during interval and try to see who we can pick from the class. Right?
And even practices, you all used to go to others. So I don't think that ground which was.
You said, no, yeah.
Police Park, CRNFC, CHNFC and Havelocks.
So we were at Havelocks. We were at
Police
Havelocks.
So there wasn't in DS itself. There wasn't a.
No,
There
no,
was
no.
never
We had a grounds.
No facility at all.
The inside school, that was school boys used to, during interval.
Okay.
And this thing, and the cricket had to be played there. I think they were
In
playing
fact, I
cricket
broke
there.
my hand playing during the interval.
Oh, okay.
So the thing is, the level at which we were playing is, we didn't have boots. We didn't have jerseys. Now, I don't think during that time the boots was even, it might have been luxury, kind of thing.
What was it? Let's say if you all didn't probably have like DS jersey or something.
No, we got Mr. Alas insisted that we wore jerseys. I remember as a 13-year-old or a 15-year-old, I don't know,
think
the Imran you
Bernard's-
came?
Bernard sponsored
I don't
it.
know. Anyway, we went to Bernard's with a design and then gave them the order to do our jerseys. So that's the level that we had to go on our own, do it, and then come back, get get an invoice from them, come back, get a voucher written, get the money, go and give it to Bernard's, get them to do it. So anyway, having said that, our parents were also very supportive where that was concerned.
So they were lucky because they had Mr. Alas during his first term.
Yeah.
And Mr. Alas was very, very supportive.
Yeah.
But during when we were there, Mr. Alas was not there.
Okay.
Or he had just come, he was not there.
He was not there.
He was
He
not
had
there.
gone to Zaire.
He was not there. So then what happens is, we didn't have that kind of support from school. We had to buy our own jerseys. We had to collect monies from the players, collect the money for stockings. We go to Bernard's, we place the order because already the striped jerseys approved. No, they have the standard jerseys that they had this thing.
Right.
That jersey, the material was so bad, some fellow holds it, it hangs about 1 meter long. Now today's jerseys are body fit jerseys. You know, you can't, unless you really hold the jersey, here, langingiyat, langingiyat, it was that kind of rugger that has come a long way. It is that kind of rugger. If not for these ayahs, we wouldn't have rugger. The commitment they did on their own to bring rugger. So when we came in '84, we were champions of B division under Naushad.
Yeah.
Naushad,
That's
till
in 84?
82.
82, okay.
82 was a champion team, B division champions. So now we had something to talk about. We were big now.
Within a short span.
And now that means we are within the first. In that year would have been the ninth best school in rugger.
Right.
A division would have had 8. I can't remember. A division would have had 8.
Okay.
So we were. So the next year you get promoted.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, after that year was Firas Fazi's year. Firas Fazi captain.
In 83.
In 83. And in DS, I come in a very unique year. DS from what's your batch? 1976. 1976 to 2025 have all batches have more than one class.
Okay.
The batch before me, the 84 batch had only 40 students. That had only 40 students. That was an odd batch.
Okay.
I don't know, I can't remember why that happened. So when I captained, we captained 1 year ahead. Because that batch, the seniors in that batch, there was no one to captain.
Okay.
I think Zafar was supposed to be there, Zafar left. Annes Usli was supposed to be there, he left. Now that there became Annes went to Sri Lanka,
Yes.
Zafar went studies, it opened up.
Right. Okay.
Then what happens is, the captaincy had to be taken by very junior, who were under 17 players, had to fill the boots.
Right.
So that's why my batch, I'm in the 1985 batch in school,
But 84 you. Right.
captain 84, and another 85 batchmate captains 85, Ajit Javikram. So, one of the rare things where 2 years, boys from the same batch captains.
From Imran Ayaz's, like, if you can name few significant players who used to play with you and probably who had actually an impact on the game going towards this 84. Who are the people that you can probably mention? Because
3 of us who were there virtually every year, we started together. There was we had a Sivali Jayavikram, who was a doctor, then Suranjit Silva, Ishtiaq Farooq, Tuan Dane,
so these
Were they
Duncan Rajasurya.
Yeah. And
Marso, the small Marso.
Master came long after, no? They play with
No,
us.
just the latter part of the.
In the 1982 team, let me read an article where Zafar has written, he has named the backbone of 82 team
Yeah.
as Naushad Sata, Irshad Hassan, Shabir Sangani, Firaz Fazi, Anne Suzni, and Dr. Sujiva Panditaratna. They were the backbone of the Teral Muttaya winning team, supported by juniors.
What's the name of this trophy? What Muttaya?
Teral Muttaya.
Okay.
He
So
was
the
the
variation-
parent of both DS and Royal.
That's Iran Muttaya's father.
He's Hiran Muttaya's father. He's Dr. Tiral Muttaya.
Okay.
Hiran.
Yes, sir. Dr.
Hiran.
No, this Muttaya. What's the call?
Tiral.
Tiral. Dr. Tiral Muttaya.
Yeah. Were there any matches during this, particularly this early period that the three of you played, that you remember especially clearly? Something interesting happened. It was a close match. Any matches like that you can recall?
Plenty.
Yeah.
I remember the Kingswood match we played at CRNS.
Yeah.
Maybe 78, 79, yeah.
Okay.
That was actually a good match. I think we were supposed to be in top of the point table, or we were second in the point table.
Okay.
And that match was a very crucial match.
Okay.
And probably I don't know what I did. It was that my last score was the winning score to win the match. So I think Sabri passed the ball to me, and I just tipped the ball over the other standoff, and I collected the ball, and I scored the match. So I see that what's happening now in most of the All Blacks and Southern. I follow all the international matches like a prayer.
Yeah.
Those days we didn't have the facilities.
Right.
Only thing you listen to a radio commentary or something like that. If West Indies is playing England or something early morning, you can hear. But rugby, never heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Maybe sometimes you see in the paper. So now since I started getting into rugby, I've been following all the matches.
Yeah.
So I see the game turn into a different playing field compared to what we used to play. You know, it's nice to watch. It's more like, okay, it's heavy tackles and things like that, but still for all to penetrate through lines and those packs, excellent. So I hope our guys will, definitely watch those type of matches and get into that field and could be number one in the future. Who knows? We have a very good
And
side.
also, back then, when you all used to play, was let's say, was it like more pack-based team, or was it like running and how was
I
it?
must say equal.
No, I mean DS at that
Mostly,
era when you all
totally, I
started.
must tell you, they always depended on the line.
Right.
Like if you
Less
go
back.
through all those papers,
Yeah.
it was the line that I scored.
No, because what I'm asking
Yes,
is
never
back
had
then,
heavy packs.
back then I'm sure like we didn't necessarily have that gym, like that fitness.
All those things came later on.
So those fitness and being thirsty, unless you were like,
It's only we put on weight by eating. That's all.
unless you were
And there was nothing given to
genes or something.
You won't believe, even before the match, there wasn't warm-ups, to tell you very honestly. Straight away whistle and we go in, right? Hook or by crook, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. That's how it was. It was, I must say, like, it wasn't a very serious thing, but it was like a funny game or hobby, or I could say that, okay, we enjoy the game, that's it.
So, but getting injured, like injuries also, how did that, like, is it because mostly tackles
After
or?
when I played without getting injured, honestly speaking, right? So maybe when I get the ball, I pass it out. Only one time that I got injured was now where you could remember the Taj Samudra Hotel. It was called the Army Grounds those days.
Okay, yeah.
So actually I was running to score and I pulled my hamstring muscles and it could not store. From that day I could not run. That was my last episode of running.
Really?
Yeah.
Even
Even
athletics? That
no,
was
nothing.
done?
And even I could not participate in public schools or nor the sevens that we played. So I was also, I think with Riza, I also was asked to come for practices, but I could not go because of my hamstring issues. That's what the Colombo schools thing. Then I also played Avis Bambaras as well. So that was still
Talking of injury, I must talk of an injury because
Iron Man.
Principal Mr. Alas in 1970, when he gave my leaving certificate, he wrote that in the leaving certificate, and which I have given to the rugby committee. That is, during one of the matches, I fell down and I cracked my bone. So I was taken to General Hospital and checked, and it was a rugby doctor there, luckily. Maya Gunasekara was a doctor.
Maya Gunasekara.
Yeah, he was a doctor there. So he knew my brother was playing for Royal, and he said what happened, and he said that and all that. And when he tried to transfer me to the ward, he said, no, you don't go to the ward. You will not like the ward. You stay inside the accident service. And he told the doctor to keep me there. So every day, for about 3-4 days, I was at accident service. Because they couldn't get that bone together. It split like this. So they just couldn't get together. So finally he said, Imran, don't worry, your raga right now, I will get you operated. And only that's the only safest thing, otherwise you can't play raga hereafter. And up to date I have a metal plate. They cut open, put a metal plate and put 3 screws. And then when I came back and told Mr. Alas I didn't come to school, he was shocked. And then of course it healed, I played raga, everything. And in 79 when he was giving my leaving certificate, he wrote in that, Imran Hassan is a true son of DS, so much so that he played for his college with a broken arm. So I have that letter certificate still, and in fact I forwarded that to the committee also. That's about my injury. But I played even club rugby after that, nothing happened.
What the juniors or the present day players must come to realize is the journey that the raga took and how it progressively came to this level. And it went through very, very difficult period. And they should appreciate what they are getting now and maximize on that. Because when these ayahs played, there was nothing.
Yeah, our budget would have been not more than 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees maximum.
Collective.
And collectively the whole year.
Oh, yeah.
And today it's 60 million, 70 million, 80 million. And those days, coming back to your question, Mali, like in the sense, thank God, there used to be, can you remember there was a Vedapala Buddhist monk at, no, opposite Spinning and Weaving Mills, now it's Havelock City. Okay?
Right.
And there's another one at this place in, in this place, in Mariakade. Those 2 people are the ones, and I'll tell you, after almost every raga match, most of the raga matches I end up there because something has to be reset, you know. So, and then he'll talk to you so nicely, I'm cool boy, you die there, you know. So
I have 2 sets of broken bones. One is here, broken, is a compound fracture broken into 2 completely. And here is a hairline fracture. And with this hairline fracture we played. It's the kind of how toughness and that toughness has transformed us in our lives. You know, this is what the present day children who will have to learn. So the important thing is, now during our time, during my captaincy, I had to go to Navarangahala with my vice captain to get the fixtures. So we were the only 2 students who have gone to get fixtures where all the other master in charge, because Susyaratnam was not well, Mrs. Susyaratnam, there was no one else they gave. Because of the passion, you go and you get fixtures. So they look for DS because regular fixtures are there now, because we didn't play tournaments that year, because that year tournament was cancelled.
Was it like that for all schools?
All schools.
All schools. So
the tournament was
when
cancelled.
did this tournament thing started?
It started now. Tiral Muttaya, when we won 82, right? Tiral Muttaya was there.
Right.
All right. Then 83 they cancelled it. So technically we had moved on to A division with that victory.
Right.
We had moved on to A division, but we didn't have a division to play because the championship, thank God, because we did the players. But when we went to the fixture, this thing, because of the previous achievement in B division, the masters in charge looked for DSCO. So they want to get a fixture.
Right.
So it was I and my vice captain.
Get a
fixture, so no, there was no master in charge.
Right.
So we had to get mission. So you must see that this is what they like to appreciate. Everything is done to you. Everything is done to you.
Yeah, but the thing is, now if you may say, the present day students are totally spoon-fed. There are 2 things that happen with that. you have been also a sportsman, your family is also into sports. Basically, there are people who appreciate that fact and stick to their goals. There is also the other side of the coin where people think they take it for granted and think, no, we'll do it for the sake of doing. So that is what is wrong in doing such things. Like we are here today because we worked hard to see what rugby, DS Rugby is today. And from humble beginnings, very humble beginnings of DS Rugby to what it is today. We are actually, three of us being the pioneers of DS Rugby, we are proud to see the level of rugby that DS has attained today. So I hope the Mallis who are playing, or Putas who are playing today, Malli lagi under bad then.
No, but actually, yeah,
The Putas who are playing today will appreciate the fact that the RDF and the old boys are doing for them and be focused on what they do. And also to, if I may say one thing to the parents of the students, there is a misconception that rugby is a dangerous sport and rugby is a rowdy's game. No. I have got into trouble, I have got out of trouble also because of rugby. But that game gives you tremendous self-confidence.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Tremendous self-confidence. Oranam tapyak uda penla yanda pula allagin kikuna gahandat yanna pula. A level ekata confidence එක දෙන sport එක. So I think if the children are well brought up, that should not be a problem. I don't know, you guys will agree with it.
I fully agree because the part that I didn't tell you is I'm a community leader in the Muslim community, heading the YMMA, the Grand Mosque, I was in the, what do you call, the Board of Qazi chairman, that is the court system, Muslim divorce court system chairman. For me, the strength rugby gave, I can never forget. In that leadership, in that taking decisions. You know, I always believe that had a major role. My parents did, but this had a major role in my character development. Because we had to go and get our own thing, book the bus, do that, do this, nothing was spoon-fed. So we had to build it. So this is where I am a little worried that the administration and authorities will also, in providing all these things to our putas who are now playing, also make sure that the characters will be built within that rather spoon-fed. That has to happen. Because my son played rugby in 2000. In 2000. There was a tussle between him and his vice captain. His captain about whom to captain.
Captain, yeah.
Right? Then since I captained, he also wanted to captain. Since I played flank, he wanted to play flank. Then I told him, come here, Puta. Who is he captain? He's my good friend. I said, give it up. To this day, they are best of friends. That is what is important. That is character building. You know, this is...
We didn't mind who captains it. That's not an issue at all, right?
Yeah, among the three of us, it didn't matter.
Maybe at some matches we say, okay, you captain now. It's like that.
I think
so we had a very good.
that has created a hard task for these people doing the book to figure out who captain.
Because when you're very honest, Ilmi just showed me an article to say that I was a captain at a certain year, in a certain year, but then it doesn't matter. When Risa spoke to me and asked me, I said, it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about when I was...
1976, under 17 that I captain at St. Joseph's. And then there is another article says E-captain. So that's the reason. We never had a captain as per year.
And his article says that I was a captain in DS captain in 78. So it doesn't matter as far as we are concerned, it doesn't matter.
One of the happiest things that
Now we have got that on video. Just in case. No, that's one whole reason we are having this podcast session also for like that every 10 years, so that the information and details, everything comes out from like the perception that you all have right now. Some people might think, okay, if we put it this way, they might get offended, they might think, but now clearly according to what you all say, it was something very mutually done, you know. You all just went to, like, it was nothing competitiveness. Now what we have and back then what you all played for is totally different.
දැන් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ people do various things for prestige, no?
Yeah.
At that time it didn't matter to us. To tell you very honestly, it didn't matter to us. Our number one thing was DS Rugby and DS. That was it.
When we did for DS, I still remember during my period, we are supposed to be going for A-level classes. The jersey and the boots are with our friends who are juniors. We leave home with the books. Mother thinks that we are in the class, but we are in the ground.
Never knew that I played rugby.
Yeah.
They did not call when I was injured.
They knew that I was only doing athletics, and that's fine. But when it comes in the papers, it's the time that I get caught.
Because even your parents were very afraid of rugby as a sport.
Possible, yes.
Yeah.
Possible, yes. Because I was the oldest guy in the family, right?
Okay.
So they were like very protective.
Right.
He
But
was different because he basically was an athlete. No?
Yeah.
Imran's was different because his brothers played rugby.
Right. And
Yeah.
yours also played.
My father.
They played for the DS?
Iftikhar Hassan was his eldest brother, then Iqbal Hassan,
Right, okay.
then him, and we used to call him Gadda.
At least his
We
house
still
was-
we call him Gadda.
His house was the clubhouse for us after rugby.
Yeah.
Straight
And
to
his
Donz.
his late mother used to be a fantastic lady. You talk about soups, not soups, name it, she would make it for you.
Yeah.
Right. There was a couple of stories I wanted to. There was one story about Malayadeva and a bus being boarded or something. Yeah. What happened?
Malayadeva
With 84.
always has a running battle.
So it's 84, is it?
84.
Okay.
We always have running battles, Malayadeva DS. So this time we
What was the reason for
We
that?
won.
Like no.
No,
Malayadeva
that
and DS.
rivalry.
No,
Yeah.
we were in that kind of division, you know, the B division
okay.
and lower
Yeah.
B division, maybe sometimes at that time,
Yeah.
or the middle B division.
Right.
So they were the competing schools, Malayadeva,
Yeah.
Ananda, you know, they were the competing schools with us. So what happens is whenever, as they say, it was a trip. It was always going there is not very serious. But when we go there man to man, we give the best. When we give the best, and we won. So when we won, those guys were angry, and we had to be escorted out of Kurnagala. They boarded the bus. They were trying to assault us, right?
The
So
crowd?
with they are supporters.
Okay.
The Kurnagala town.
Okay.
We got the scare of our life because we were small children, you know, inside the basket trying to get it. It's that kind of thing. Now, I saw in your listing you also had to ask who were the outstanding players.
Yeah.
I will, during my time, my captaincy, the outstanding player, I would put it for Manjula Aryakumara.
Yeah,
Manjula
yeah.
Aryakumara, who
What position did you play?
he played number 8.
Number 8.
Oh, he's-
One of the best number 8s I think DS produced because he played for Colombo schools also and he played in clubs. He was really good. Then we had another playmaker in Ajit Javikram. Ajit Javikram, he was come off. And as usual, one of the Galtikas of the team, who will never say die and will put his head to any more, is Mr. Sahid Sangani. Right? Just like the brothers.
Yeah.
Shabir also was that.
Oh, yeah.
Shabir, you will have. Shabir, no one told that, no? If the F word does not come in a scrum, then Shabir is not there.
Not there.
It was duly followed.
So he was playing with you all.
Yeah,
In a junior.
he was one of the star players.
Right? So
And
Shabir,
in fact, Riza Farooq.
Riza was playing second row.
He
a
was
good player.
He was also a very good player.
so he was a very good hooker, and the F has to come out. The brother followed it to the word, the second brother. Sahid. But the third brother was more decent. One of the guys who we really missed during my year of 84 was one of our under 17 players who was known as Tiny Mutalif.
Okay.
Colonel Mutalif.
I think he was in the forces, right?
He was known as Tiny. He played under 17, second 15. Unfortunately, he went to the army. He was again another gull guy, you know, you go and put his head into any mall, not scared of anything. You know, Mutalif should have played for DS for the first 15 level. And one of the other things that DS never had during our time or towards our time, never had a proper place kicker after Iftika Vai. Then we always had problems in scoring goals.
Iftika was after.
Before our time.
Iftika was after us.
So
But you all had a good.
Yeah, he used to kick.
Yeah, Suranjit used to kick.
What else did you do? Run.
I mean, I must tell you, like proudly, in our group, he's the only one who played for Sri Lanka.
Oh, he played for Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Okay. I see.
Right, represent.
So you must be the first DS player to play for Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Actually,
More
I
than
was selected at the under 25 Sri Lanka team
Okay.
after the trials of the Premadasa tournament
Yeah.
trials. So we won the championship. So I was chosen, I was selected, and
you played as well.
2 days before went,
Wait, you played you said the trials of the Premadasa.
yeah, the trials was Premadasa tournament.
Yeah.
Another tournament they were choosing for the Taiwan tour,
Sure.
Sri Lanka team.
Yeah.
So after they did a special trials.
How did DS do in the Premadasa?
No.
Okay.
And,
It was the club.
Oh,
Club.
club. Okay, club. Okay.
so then I was
Yeah.
chosen for the team
Okay.
to play, and then we were having practices. And just 2 days, 3 days before, I had already even my passport also got the visa, everything done.
Oh, okay.
And 2 days before, there was injury on my shoulder which I got, and the manager told me I had to stand back. So all the paper cuttings, everything has Imran Hassan, the team, everything. It was unfortunate.
But you couldn't go.
I couldn't go, but I was selected for the team.
So the first person to be selected.
So no, that was the Premadasa.
Only place kicker that we could find is we went to the football team and found Azad Hassan, who was the football captain during my time in 84. Of course, we saw him earlier, and he made sure that we collected our points from the goals, because you have asked for playmakers, and he in fact scored points for us in kicking.
And you asked me what I did after, other than rugby. I was vice captain hockey.
Oh.
Right, then I played soccer and cricket. Of course, I did not go, but they wanted me to come because of my height.
Right.
Honestly, but I had an opportunity to play some house matches.
Right.
I did not go beyond
But
that
what about
because I was
others?
scared of the ball.
What other sports did you all?
Well, I did athletics and swimming. Swimming at national level.
Imran did athletics.
I ran for the house, nothing but.
Right. And during that time, when DS was playing, who were the other schools that were in par with DS? Now, let's say if you take Royal, I think Royal, St. Thomas, and other schools have played for a long time, so they were probably a little
St.
bit.
Joseph's,
Who was in par with DS?
Yes, that's a B division. Ananda was there.
Ananda.
Nalanda, Nalanda, then Kingswood.
Thurston was there.
Raja.
Thurston was there.
Zahira.
Zahira was there.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Lumbini,
Lumbini.
Science College,
Science.
Sattisara. It was known as Sattisara. Science College.
Sattisara, yes.
Science College, Sattisara had one of the best 7 teams ever. They were very quick. Sattisara. Science College was earlier known as Sattisara Mahavidyalaya.
So when it came to like 84, this kind of time, were you also still training at Police Park, or was that previous?
We were the guinea pigs for the main heavies team.
Oh, okay.
So we get soup if we play. if we play them for practice matches, we get soup. So you can just imagine 17-year-old boys playing for the
Soup game was owner of a butcher store used to play for heavies.
Okay.
And he was actually a prop forward. So he brings the soup and come.
Right. Okay.
So at that time I used to
That's how
go
the soup was flavored.
BTMEs.
Yeah.
That's how the soup came into scene.
And
I
so
think
we are
it's funny
coming towards the end of the sessions actually, but before we end up and wrap it up, if each person has your own anything like a funny story that that you all think is silly, even anything related to whatever the probably based on your depending on your captains here or even other than that, if anything that signifies, you can just mention.
Yeah, okay. One funny story I would tell.
Yeah.
During practices, we had the match in Kandy. One of the, I think, Vidyartha match or Madhideva match. And the coach said, look, you all don't have the strength, you all must eat some eggs. And the boys took it up seriously. And then on the next day, Friday morning, they all come to go, for the bus had come, we were all ready to go. One of our second row called Michael Riesel, we had vocational studies in school, that is agriculture, poultry, woodwork, art, all that was vocational, good old days. So this chap was doing poultry. He got into the poultry cage and started eating raw eggs early morning, just before the bus left. He said, I ate 5 eggs. And when he was coming out, he got caught to the sir. Sir had come in the morning, poultry sir. Yeah, Sirisena. He had come and asked, what are you doing inside, sir? He quickly changed and said, sir, these chickens are eating the eggs. All the eggs are broken. This poultry sir said, my God, there is a deficiency of vitamins in the chicken. I will talk to the master and get something done. He got out, ran and got into the bus and we went. And poor fellow was in the bathroom most of the time. And we came back and we realized, not 5, that sir said 10 eggs had gone, broken, and he thought there was deficiency in vitamins and he had brought some special vitamins also for the chickens. So when you say something, they take it very seriously. And this chap is now in Australia.
Yeah. Everything.
Okay, during my time, we had a guy called Fakri Mihla. I think everybody will know about it. He used to carry a comb, in his backpack. Every whistle, he'll take the comb, right? And one day, this was an house match. I was actually running to score. Then this guy was behind me, give me, I want to score. I gave him the ball. He scored and never got up. Till these guys went and woke him up.
Well, the funny story is, I think it was a Trinity match. We went, Trinitians are good horse, wonderful horse. So when they gave us a beautiful lunch, played the match, and we stayed that night there, right? No, we went the previous day, stayed that night there, and then played the match the next day. So that night we stayed there. We basically all of us are sleeping in the dome, and then mischievous as we were, not looking at our positions in the hierarchy, one person took toothpaste and another person took winter Gino. As usual, basically, one person applied the winter Gino on the hand, on the palm, right? Another person takes the toothpaste and applies on the private area, And then the next thing, there was a certain guy, and then the next thing he takes it and says, oh God, smarting. Those days, what was it, like SR or something like that, I can't remember. It used to smart a bit, He takes it and says, and rubs it on his face, That was the guy was screaming and shouting, So I think that was under 15 or under 17 match. I'm not sure which one it is. And so we had to go to the
name also. If you
The person is not living anymore.
So basically, we had to go to the cold water. The taps all obviously had cold water. So they went and
Cadley also.
washed themselves.
This type of fun, I don't think what we had and enjoyed rugby is there now because they stay in separate rooms. For us, it's one huge classroom with mattresses and we sleep in a row. So what we do is, among ourselves, we do everything what we want to do. And that's fun and that's what we enjoy.
One more question. Now, back then, I think a lot of people who were in the team probably spoke English also. But when it was at the game, was it did you all communicate in English, or was it just
All languages.
all languages?
Sinhalese, English and Tamil as well. So,
And mostly filth.
Yeah.
During my period, I'll take the liberty to take 2 years, 2 funny incidents. We had this athlete who we brought in, as they said, like Siriparappo, all these people, to run. So he was at first center. His name was Sadukeen. Right? So we passed the ball. Sadukeen, for now he has to run. No, he does not know how to sidestep. Someone came running at him. What he did was, he ran backwards, put a full circle. Now he got the ball here. He ran backwards, put a full circle, and got caught at the same point on the other side. And all of us, Kelinduo Pambang, Kelinduo Pambang. He just did not know how to run. Right? He put a full half circle and ended up at the same place. That was the Valiyadev match, no? Then the other one is that we had someone called Banu Dharmavardhana. Before every match, Banu is missing. We are about to run in. Banu ko. Banu ne. Koriye. Chew kar liya. And he was registered as Chew Banu. Now, he is still known as Chew. Because he can never, because he has to kick. He is the one who takes the kick.
Oh, right.
For him to take the kick, the man has to be there. He has gone to the toilet. Just after the toss, about to run into the ground.
Right. I think now, yes, time's up. So thank you very much, Ayas. Thank you so much for your stories and sharing all
Pleasure
the
talking
details.
to you.
And I think, especially, we have to thank you all for initiating rugby. And initiating rugby in DS, so that now we have come 50 years to this mark, and we have come a long way, I think, to a place where we can actually.
Especially these ideas.
Yeah, that's what.
By that time. But the commitment that they have put forward is the commitment, otherwise there wouldn't have been rugby in DS.
Right. Yes, that's it. So thank you so much, and I hope you all also enjoyed and probably
Thanks
share
for-
in all these
Thanks for your
information.
time.
Yes.
And the team as well.
Yes.